Today we're taking a look at one of the hottest restaurant stocks in play right now, taking a look at how this company went from $400 during the pandemic sell-off to now over $1,000, over all-time highs, and still having room to grow. Taking a look at Chipotle and what is going on with this stock in 2020 and the potential upside from here. We're going to take a look at some of the recent news and what is going on with CMG here in this video, so make sure you guys stay tuned. What's going on, guys? Patrick here, and today we're talking about one of my favorite restaurants. This is a company that I normally buy food from probably 4 to 5 times a week. I've been an avid Chipotle supporter since as long as I can remember. I just love it. It's good food. It's always good, and I always enjoy having some nice, delicious Chipotle for lunch or for dinner. Now, what's amazing here is the recent move in this stock is almost unbelievable at this point, especially with what has been going on with the pandemic, the idea of restaurants being closed and all of that. But one big mover, one big driver is behind this action for Chipotle, and it really comes down to online sales, deliveries. And one thing that Chipotle did that was really smart during the pandemic, during the quarantine, was they had free delivery. Now, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but people do like to have free things. So the idea of not charging a delivery fee during the pandemic really helped boost Chipotle's numbers. Now, there has been recent news about Chipotle and Shopify getting a deal done to set up these virtual farmer markets. Chipotle says this is vital to help its suppliers overcome economic difficulties caused by the pandemic. Chipotle also notes that it is covering the cost of the storefronts for its suppliers for the first 2 years. So basically, Chipotle is working with Shopify to create an online storefront so that their suppliers can actually sell more products to Chipotle customers. So if people want to buy organically sourced products from the Chipotle suppliers, they will be able to do that now with Shopify. Now, Shopify is also another stock that has been making big moves recently, so if you've not looked at Shopify, definitely check that one out as well. Now, if we look at Chipotle's performance during the pandemic, obviously, with the overall market, Chipotle sold off. Chipotle bounced from $400 now to over $1,000. A lot of people are saying that maybe Chipotle has got a little far ahead of itself, but there's big reason to why this move has been happening, other than the fact that Robinhooders also love Chipotle as much as I love Chipotle, and they eat Chipotle, so it makes sense that they go out and buy Chipotle stock. It's really interesting to look back 2018, 2019 to see the price action of Chipotle, and then now to see it above $1,000. It's always interesting to kind of look back and be like, man, I should have bought more Chipotle stock. I should have bought more Chipotle stock, right? Now, one of the big things that we're looking at here is how Chipotle has been able to defend its market share, how Chipotle has been able to stay competitive in a very difficult space right now with the restaurants and obviously with the quarantine and all that. That's why the online sales has been such a big deal. Also, Chipotle making a deal with Grubhub recently as well, so that more Chipotle restaurants can be delivered around the US. Chipotle reported its 2019 results in early February before the market correction, and management did talk about the possible implications of an upcoming pandemic and things like that affecting their business. One of the big focuses for Chipotle management in general is the idea of digital ordering. Digital ordering in 2019, digital orders grew 90% from 2018, and for the year, they comprised 18% of total sales. In the fourth quarter, digital orders were 20% of sales. So you can see we're going from 18% of total sales to now the end of 2019, a 20% of total sales coming from digital orders. That's because management has been so focused on the digital market space. Digital orders are strongly slanted towards off-premise dining, delivery, and pickup. With delivery, Chipotle is already partnered with Uber Eats, with DoorDash, with Postmates, and all of the top delivery services so they can get their products out there to the users that are on those platforms. Now, this has been one of the big drivers for the recent move in the stock, going from $400 to $1,000 because they had such a massive jump in online ordering, especially with Uber Eats and DoorDash and all of that. There's been a massive, massive pump. There was a lot of restaurants that did not offer online ordering or a easy app on your phone. That's the great thing about Chipotle. They've been smart. They had the infrastructure before the whole pandemic. You go on your phone, you go on the Chipotle app. They make it as easy as 1, 2, 3. You literally go on there, you click in your last order, you can reorder it instantly. And that's the biggest thing when it comes to online ordering for restaurants, and especially for any type of retailer online, is I want to be able to just go on to the app. I want to be able to click the button. I want to be able to buy now. I want to be able to order now. I want to get it to my house within 20 to 30 minutes because when I'm craving Chipotle, I need that Chipotle and I want to make it as easy as possible with the app on my phone. And that's why Chipotle has done so well through this pandemic, is because they had the infrastructure before, because they knew that their focus needed to be on online delivery orders. The idea of quarantine and people not being able to go out to restaurants, and they had the infrastructure and they had the capabilities to fill the need for all these people stuck at home that really were just craving some type of delicious, healthy food, which ended up being Chipotle for them. Now, when you divide sales by locations, you arrive at a metric that's called the average unit volume. This is an important metric for the restaurant industry, a key figure in understanding unit economics. Now, Chipotle's AUV in 2019 grew to $2.2 million. That's among the very best in the business. Importantly, this is sharply up from $2 million AUV in 2018, thanks to comparable sales growth of 11%. Chipotle doesn't just do high volume, it's also highly profitable. Take labor as an example of controlled costs. Many restaurants struggle with labor costs in 2019. As minimum wage goes up around the country, it is harder for companies to manage. Now, however, in Chipotle's case, its labor as a percentage of sales improved in 2019. Labor was 26% of sales compared to 27% of sales in 2018. And now, how does Chipotle do that? When the AUV increases as it has, the company gains operating leverage. Existing labor churns out more revenue, more profitability goes up. So obviously, the more revenue, the more per store sales that they have, they're able to generate more revenue with less labor, but still having like the same amount of labor costs. So they're gaining in the sales there, where some of the other companies that are out there are actually losing revenue because their labor costs are going up so they can actually serve the amount of customers. So that's one of the great things about the Chipotle business plan. Basically, you walk in, there's a line normally out the door. You walk in, you stand in line, you have 3 people working on the line there that are serving food, making your burritos, making your bowls. Those 3 people there are able to serve hundreds of people coming in and out of the door all day because they're simply just scooping and putting it into a bowl or putting it into burritos. That's why Chipotle has done so well here, because they're able to increase their revenue without having to pay more in labor cost. Chipotle carries no debt and has around $880 million in cash and investments. They have a very firm financial footing. Chipotle is not only able to weather the current coronavirus storm, but also to continue to invest in the growth of their company going into the future. While other companies are either going bankrupt, Chipotle is able to actually invest in the future. Let's reduce the amount of brick and mortar stores and let's make little tiny pop-up stores that are only for online ordering. So if Uber Eats drivers come, they literally walk up to a window, they get the order, they walk away. There's no in-store sit-down type of casual dining experience. It's simply just a little box that makes Chipotle food that then delivers that food to the Uber Eats people, if that makes sense. So instead of having a dining experience. Let's just create little Chipotle stores that only deliver food. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? You're getting rid of the idea of having a large footprint as a brick and mortar store. You don't need to have locations anymore. You don't need to have locations in key areas and competing with other brick and mortar stores. You simply just create a very streamlined, very streamlined store that's only for online ordering for companies like Uber Eats, DoorDash, and things like that. So it's really kind of, you know, this is an idea that I have. So Chipotle management, if you want to talk about it, you know where to get me at. Now, obviously, Chipotle has been beat down before because of E. coli breakouts and other issues with the stock. But recently, they've really doubled down and continue to open new locations today faster than ever. In the fourth quarter of 2019, it opened 80 new locations. It's never opened that many locations in a single quarter. And for the year, it opened 140 new locations, bringing the total to over 2,600 locations total across the U.S. Now, of course, that's a lot of locations already, but how much bigger can Chipotle get? The company hasn't provided a total target number of how many new locations are looking to open in 2020, but the CEO said in a 2018 press release that he envisions the company's sales easily growing to $10 billion. That's still about 79% higher than the 2019 $5.6 billion in sales that they had. As the company grows, their target, their future is building more locations, having a more prominent online delivery experience and generating revenue that way, and increasing their revenue from $5.6 billion in sales to $10 billion in sales here going forward. Now, also, more than likely, they will primarily come from new Chipotle locations. Right now, we've got that $2.2 million per location that they're currently making average there. But the goal is to build more and more locations to serve the customers. I'll be honest with you guys, normally when I do go to Chipotle, it's packed. There's normally a line in the middle of the day. You go there for lunch. There's a line out the door of every Chipotle that you go to here in South Florida. And it's not just a thing for South Florida. This is pretty much across the country. When you go to a major city, they have a Chipotle there. It's normally packed around lunchtime or dinner time and things like that. Now, in the past, Chipotle has experimented with other restaurant concepts, but ended up abandoning those concepts. In 2018, the company closed a burger chain called Tasty Meat, get rid of things that just don't make sense financially as a company. But I would not be surprised to see another spin-off, especially with this whole online type of ordering thing. Imagine you could build the little Chipotle streamlined kiosk style, but also have a really good pizza as well that's delivered from that same online business locale thing. So there it is, Chipotle. There's still upside to come here. Do I want to buy it at $1,000? It's hard to say. I remember when it cost $200 and I thought that it was overpriced, and now it's $1,000. So at the end of the day, if you're looking for a quality restaurant play, I think Chipotle is definitely one to keep on your radar. Look to buy the pullback, look to buy the dips, and look to see Chipotle heading higher into the future in the end of 2020 as their sales continue to increase, especially in the online space. So if you guys haven't already, do me one big favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I will talk to you guys later on.